Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Bayloric TV Boxing Channel. We are live, unfortunately, from earlier on. When I started this stream, it sort of stopped on me simply because of the fact I think that the streaming has been so difficult tonight to be able to watch the fight that it's been hard for me to be able to get online to do anything. But I'm here now. So if you can excuse me for a few seconds, what I'm going to do is just post this link to a few other people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is the TV Boxing Channel. So if you just mind me just for a couple of seconds, I'm just going to share this link with a few other people. Start talking. I will be with you in a second. Just going to share a link with a few other people that obviously, want to be a part of this. I've had to change the link because for some reason the stream tonight was awful. So I've had a few technical problems trying to get online, but now I'm online. I will get there, put the time in to talk and discuss Mayweather Pacquiao. Let me just it's so annoying trying to do this. Right. Just share this. One more link I'm sharing and that's it. And then there's lots to talk about. Okay, let's just post up there. Right. Okay. I had a bad stream, yeah. I think a lot of people had a bad stream for this fight. There was just the amount of people that want to tune in to watch the fight. Got one person. Let's see. Good evening, Alan. Hope that you are well. Thank you for tuning in. Where do we begin? I guess, hold on a second. One more link I want to share out. Give me a second. Sorry, Alan. Give me a moment. Okay, those two people have been sent links. Okay. So here we are, we're in. Okay, so I've just sent those links out. I might take a few moments for people to get round to it. So my apologies once again. The link started, then it crashed. Typically of the whole night tonight, it's been a bit of a crash bang wallet sort of situation. The stream wasn't great. Ended up having to watch the fight via Mexican TV. All the general links that were being used to watch the fight generally couldn't get to watch them. So it was a bit of a sticky situation. But before we even get into the fight itself, let's just talk about the coverage tonight. Now, if I were a complete casual and knew nothing about boxing, I would have thought tonight's show was about the Oscars, the Grammys, and anything but not boxing, because what we saw tonight was all the stars turning up into the arena. Frankly, I was really appalled to see the boxing fraternity giving the fans, all the celebrities, so much attention. It would have been great to have seen more the fighters getting the attention, asking their opinions, going and seeing them in the audience, asking how they felt about the fight, who they're going for, to hear their opinions. What did Deontay Wilder think? What did Bermane Stiverne think? What did Brian Jennings think? What did, you know, Keith Thurman think? What did Sean Porter think? There are so many big fighters that were in that stadium or that arena tonight that didn't approach. Well, I didn't see them approach. So I don't know. I would like to see more of that and less of the talking to the basketball players and talking to the guy who won the Super Bowl. I don't care. I don't want to hear your opinion. You know, I want to hear boxing opinions. So before the fight, there was lots of hype beforehand, but if you're honest, you knew what you were working with before the fight began. You know what you were working with. You knew that Manny was never gonna outpoint Floyd. The way that Manny was gonna win this fight was by knocking him out. I discussed this on numerous occasions, over and over and over again. Manny Pacquiao couldn't block a straight right hand. Now I can't say I saw the whole fight. I can't say I saw the whole fight. I can say I saw most of the fight. And it's just in action replay. Manny moved forward, Floyd hit him with a straight right hand. Manny moved forward, Floyd hit him with a straight hand. Constant movement all the time from Floyd, not allow Manny to pick his shots and put shots together. And when he did try and flurry, Floyd spun off the ropes and didn't allow Manny to set up any real punches. Now, when you really think about the performance Floyd's put on tonight, and this isn't a Floyd praise or worship of Floyd, it's just a sheer fact that at the end of the day, the way I'm looking at this at the moment is that he's just beaten the pound for pound #2 fighter in the world with ease. This is the guy that so many people were banking on beating Floyd. You know, Manny landed his best punch was a straight right hand from straight left hand, I remember. And from what I saw, he was on rope. Mayweather's on the ropes, absorbed it, took his best shot, and came back. And you know, I said this to people in one of my videos. I said, Manny's doing all that stuff on the pads and looking very fast. I said, who's he going to be hitting? He's not going to be hitting Mayweather like that, because Mayweather's not going to let him hit him like that. So you've got to train and you've got to prepare yourself in the type of guy you're going to be fighting. The first thing that we knew that Mayweather, fighting Mayweather, Manny had to do was able to block a right hand. He couldn't block a right hand. He couldn't close Mayweather down on the ropes. And it's just fundamental boxing. He was unable to get himself into position to land the punches necessary. And again, Freddie Roach, once again, has proven to me that he's a good attacking coach, but tactically inept. I said it before, I'll say it again. Let me see what you guys are thinking, guys and girls are thinking out there. Okay, wow. Let's see. Alan Hurst says he had a bad stream. Good evening or good morning, Alan. Having a bad stream. Yeah, I had a real bad stream. I mean, at one point I tried to get onto the radio, and because I'm in Ireland, they wouldn't let me play the radio. So forget that. I couldn't get that connection. I was desperate. Went back to Sky Sports. That connection kept going in and out all the time. I then turned around and tried to go through Showtime. Couldn't get that. So in the end, I ended up going through to Cante and some Mexican channel, which was fine. I still got to see the fight, which was the end of the fight, which is good. Okay, Santa Cruz is a bum. Should have had the guy out there 1 week's notice. Santa Cruz, I think he's pretty much exposed as a fighter. If you're struggling to get guys out of there who are relatively, you know, guys you get knocking out, that's not good. That really is not good. I have to say, Santa Cruz versus Carl Frampton. You know what? I tell you, I'd like to see Santa Cruz fight. I'd like to see Santa Cruz fight Kiko Martinez. That'd be a bad fight. Let's see what Kiko Martinez does against Scott Quigg first. If he should win, I'd like that. Abner Mares, well, question marks about Mares' chin, his own chin. Mares punches is a big puncher, but his chin's questionable. I'm not fussed about the Abdul fight. I'd like to see Santa Cruz fight someone like Carl Frampton. I think that's a big fight. I think that fight needs to be made faster than the Morris fight. And and you can't be fighting. Guys, a featherweight. You gotta move to a featherweight, yeah? This complete obscure opponent, he couldn't get away. He couldn't knock him out, couldn't stop him. What's he doing against a real big, strong featherweight that can punch? I don't want to know. I don't even want to hear Santa Cruz. I don't like Santa Cruz. I think it's very overrated. I don't want to hear no more about Santa Cruz. It's just overrated. Hello, Lucy. Hope you're well. Hi. PSB, PAV Sports. Mayweather is a beast. 48-0 and still. Who will be 49? I think, well, I would have thought it'd be Amir Khan, but now I'm just tied up with Algieri. Can he get past Algieri and be ready for September for Mayweather? It's the last fight. I don't know. Does anyone want to see Mayweather Pacquiao too? Really? Do you really want to see that again? I don't know. Anyway, who will be 49? Who knows? Lucy says, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Right. Well, Lucy, the first fight, Mayweather didn't know what Manny Pacquiao had to offer. If he fights him again, it's going to be worse because Floyd's going to have a better idea of what he's fighting. But I guess Manny's a better idea as well. But Manny fundamentally can't block a straight right hand. Manny fundamentally can't close fighters down, you know, and he can't deal with movement. He can't deal with movement. Hence why he at times didn't know what to do in there. But who knows? As for getting the stream, tried once, tried again, we're in now, which is cool. Some easy opponent to finish off his career. Yeah, what about Kell Brook? How about Kell Brook? Maybe a wash up Algeria after Khan finishing up, or Bradley. Yeah, Bradley would be an interesting fight. Kell Brook could be a good fight. I don't know. Mayweather, Alan says, Mayweather never had many fans there. It's a shame. Yeah, I think a lot of fans are casual fans, and a lot of the fans that you're talking about or out there are supporting Manny Pacquiao because, you know, he's a nice guy. He says the right things. Mayweather's rubbed a lot of people up the wrong way. But that's got nothing to do with boxing skill. This is not a personality contest. If this was a personality contest, Manny Pacquiao would win the hands down. Mayweather shouldn't even bother. This is a boxing match. And as a boxing match, the aim is to hit and not get hit. That's the science of boxing. And a lot of people don't understand that. People expect to crash bang wallop. You're not going to get crash bang wallop with, you know, with a fight like this. You've got a pure scientist, a professor in the ring. And Manny Pacquiao has just bring a lot of heart, a lot of guts, and technical ability in terms of fight. Mayweather was limited. And that's the cold, hard truth. Sorry. To be honest, it was stupid at the end to boo Mayweather just because he beat Manny Pacquiao so easy. Well, he beat him so easily, but it doesn't help Manny Pacquiao turn around and say he won the fight. It really doesn't. I mean, I don't know what was worse. Chavez saying he won the fight against Fonfara, or winning the fight against Fonfara, or Manny Pacquiao. I don't know. Maybe he was concussed by one of the punches he got hit by Mayweather, but there was no way Manny won the fight. Nobody knew. Nobody. Even people ringside didn't think he won the fight, you know? So that was so crap. Well, I mean, what did you expect? What did you expect? You have to blame Manny Pacquiao. You can't blame Floyd Mayweather. He did what he was going to do. Control the fight. I say he would control the fight. Use the straight right hand. Manny couldn't block it. So you know, it's a disgrace. Well, yeah, but you know, you can't blame Floyd for that. Let's see what we've got here. Alan Hurst says he frustrated Pacquiao. Pac-Man did not know what to do. No, he didn't. But his trainer doesn't know what to do either. I told you, his trainer. Let's just go back to the Marquez fight. Go back to the Marquez fight. He didn't have a clue then. He didn't have a clue then. So if Manny Pacquiao can't knock you out in a fight, you know, and you've got some boxing talent, some skill, you're in a fight, and that's what happened tonight. PSP Sports says exactly. He basically neutralized all of Manny Pacquiao's possible strength. That's right. I said to people, if Manny Pacquiao cannot knock out Floyd Mayweather and plan A doesn't work, what's going to be plan B? Manny Pacquiao doesn't have a plan B. He never had a plan B. He's got plan A, and that's it. And if you're an elite pound for pound fighter, I truly believe you need to have versatility at the very top. You can't just have one style all the way because you end up getting found out. You need to be able to adapt your game. And Manny Pacquiao, frankly, cannot adopt his game. You look at Andre Ward. This is a guy who can fight on the front foot. He can fight on the back foot. He can go from side to side. He can fight inside. When he fought Carl Froch, he got on the inside. You know, he can fight from the outside. That's what you call pound for pound great, because you can do all the things. You're not just to do one thing. Manny Pacquiao can only fight one way. You know, you can only fight one way. And tonight he got exposed for me. And I don't think I don't think if the fight happened 5 years ago, it would have made a difference. If the fight happened 5 years ago, Manny Pacquiao's rise in boxing wouldn't be the way it is today. That's why they didn't want the fight. That's why it was. Does it look like Mayweather was ducking Manny Pacquiao now? Based on what you saw tonight, it looked like basically Manny Pacquiao's team didn't want him anywhere, Floyd Mayweather, because he knew it was going to happen. You saw it tonight for yourselves. PSB Sports says, when Mayweather is on the ropes, he feints red and then hits the left hook. He did the same against that, and then look what he did. He KO'd. Yes. Right. What's next for Pacquiao? What's next for Pacquiao? Kell Brook. I don't know. Kell Brook. Marcus doesn't want the fight. I tell you a fight I would like to see. Forget Thurman fighting Porter. Thurman, Pacquiao. Now that would be a great fight. That'd be a good fight to see. I'd like to see that. Lucy Masters, I meant you. Yeah, at first you don't see try again. Yes, I did. Try again, because I knew there were certain people out there that wanted to watch the show tonight. Didn't want to let them down. So yes, yeah, I did try, and thank you very much. Right, the better boxer won. That's it. Yeah, the better boxer did win, and that's it. I'm very not upset, just disappointed that Manny Pacquiao turned around and made the comments and said that, you know, he felt he won the fight. Sore loser, real loser. Yeah, I think Mayweather should fight Kell Brook. End of his career, and for him to retire undisputed champion of the welterweight division. Yeah, I think that would be right. I think that's a good idea. Yeah, so Kell Brook, why not? Lucy Marshall says, what about Manny's corner? He didn't seem to know. Yeah, well, of course he didn't know. This is why Floyd Mayweather Sr. says it's joke Coach Roach. Because Freddie Roach, if you look at the history of Freddie Roach, he's very good at coaching attacking fighters. But Freddie Roach is not a tactician. He's not a tactician. If he was a tactician like a Manny Stewart, see, Manny Stewart, a lot of people don't know about Manny Stewart. Manny Stewart had a think tank around him. Not only James Allen Bashir, but very good, experienced trainers around him, Manny Stewart. So he had people that, you know, for the heavy bag, people for strength and conditioning, you know, people for footwork. Manny Stewart had a dream team around him. You know, it wasn't just Manny Stewart, right? And you need that in boxing. And I believe that, you know, you talk about Floyd Mayweather, you've got Roger Mayweather, you've got Floyd Mayweather Sr., you know, and experience. These guys understand the game inside out. They know how to fight going forward, they know how to go fighting back, they know how to go side to side. Freddie Roach can't tell you that. Freddie Roach, I mean, if you look at Freddie Roach's career as a fighter, he was a I know no more than a domestic fighter. He used to get beat up all the time. I mean, he didn't fought his face. Freddie Roach, if you go back and check Freddie Roach's career, you go back to the point where at one point he had 4 or 5 of his fighters getting knocked out in a short stretch of time. I think it was the time where Garcia knocked out Khan, and he had another 3 fighters that got knocked out. I've never rated Freddie Roach as a top-class trainer. Never, ever, never, never. If you want to learn how to attack, fine. If Freddie Roach was any sort of trainer, Provodnikov, for example, He went missing hit Provodnikov because he knew what was going to happen to Provodnikov. He can't teach Provodnikov defense. Can't teach defense. So if you want to learn how to attack, by all means, go to Freddie Roach's gym. If you want to learn about defense and mean tactical boxing, forget Freddie Roach. And once again, that exposes Freddie Roach as the trainer is. Yeah, I laughed as well when Pac-Man said that. Alan Hurst says, I laughed when Pac-Man said he won and Max Kellerman didn't agree with him all. Yeah, good. I'm glad that Kellerman said, you didn't win the fight, mate. You didn't win the fight. And that's his own people, HBO, telling him, you didn't win the fight, mate. You didn't win the fight. In fact, it was embarrassing. I think it was somebody on Twitter said that Manny Pacquiao's lost his fire. I think so. I really do. I think Manny Pacquiao's is interested in far other things, more important things. I think he just wanted this big payday against Mayweather. I don't think he even could beat Mayweather. I really don't. I think he knew from day one that when he fought Mayweather, it would be exactly what he got tonight. I really don't. I don't see how he thought he was going to beat Mayweather. I'm just honest. And okay. So you need to have self-belief. Thurman Pacquiao would be a great fight, Alan. I think Brook versus Mayweather, MGM or Wembley to unify the division. I think Floyd Mayweather. Not be funny, for this last fight of his career, needs to get his arm out of America and come and fight in Wembley. Why? Because it's his fight that he needs to. I think that's the fight. You can't be just a world champion and say, well, I had all my fights in America. Come and have your last fight in the UK. You've got lots of UK fans. The pound pays great money. And come and fight Kell Brook in the UK. Come and fight at Wembley. That'd be a great fight at Wembley. And yeah. And you know what? I would rather see Mayweather fight Brook than Mayweather fight Khan. Simply because of a couple of reasons. Brook's never been beaten. He doesn't know how to lose. And he's a really physically strong welterweight. And I think he proposed different problems for Mayweather. You know, he's going to pose the same problems, maybe different problems as Amir Khan. But I think if you're looking for a more sturdy fighter at welterweight, I would say that I'd say Brook was more sturdy, undefeated, will come with lots of self-belief, and he knows if he beats Mayweather, he's right there. So I would like to see Brook versus Mayweather. But let's just hope Eddie Hearn doesn't start saying Kell Brook is the best thing since sliced bread. You know, he's this. Let's just not hope he does that. I really hope that Eddie Hearn keeps his mouth shut and the fight is made for what it is. You know, Kell Brook is an up-and-coming welterweight fighter out in the UK. He's a world champion. He hasn't got many world-class fighters on his resume. Let's just get this fight on. Let's make it made. I can't expect Kell Brook to sell the fight in terms of him mouthing off. You're not going to get that. And I don't know if Mayweather's going to mouth off either. You know, yeah, he'll probably call him a young pretender, which he probably is. Who knows when you're talking about Mayweather. But how does Kell Brook fight Mayweather? And before even Kell Brook fights Mayweather, he's got a little problem to deal with in Frankie Gavin. Now, if he doesn't work out Frankie Gavin, God knows what he'll do against Mayweather. So, okay. There we go. Okay, so why does Freddie Roach win Coach of the Year so many times? Don't get me wrong, he's a great trainer, but Khan was never amazing with Pacquiao. Hasn't either. How about Mayweather Senior or PPV? Yeah, this thing about Trainer of the Year. Freddie Roach went on a run of fighters, right? Who either won world championships. I think they won a series of world championships, and obviously that run that Pacquiao had, knocking these guys out. At one time, he'd beaten Hatton, Cotto, Margarito. He beat all those guys. So I guess he was getting fighter year because of Manny Pacquiao's achievements. Even though some of those fighters were weight drained, we don't want to talk about that. But a lot of those fighters were weight drained and catch weight fights. So I think that's where Freddie Roach got his Fighter of the Year, or Trainer of the Year award. But I don't know if he's deserving of that. And I think that the Mayweathers should get Trainer of the Decade. You know, managed even Joe Calzaghe's father got a Trainer of the Year award. Joe Calzaghe's father got Trainer of the Year award. I don't know. I don't know if it's. I think I begin to think it's a political thing there, a political statement that the Mayweathers have not got a Trainer of the Year award. But yeah, depending on Arum, he knew it was time to cash that typical type of Arum. Yeah, Arum knew all those years ago. He knew that all those fights when Manny Pacquiao was fighting in the Yankee Stadium and making all that money, Arum knew that let me get as many fights out of this guy as possible, because when he fights Mayweather's going to beat him. I think Arum knew that. I think anybody really close to Manny Pacquiao knew what his limitations were. So, how was Jim Lampley? Was he all sad? I don't know. I didn't get to see Jim Lampley at the end. It would be funny if Khan loses Mayweather fight Brook after he ducked him. Yeah, I'd love to beat Brook and Khan. I really would, because Khan, there was no excuses why Khan and Brook shouldn't have fought. No excuses whatsoever. I just wish Algeria all the best, because it's a fight that should have happened. And had Brook and Khan fought, you then could have had a legitimate contender to fight Mayweather for his 49th fight. Just stupid politics in boxing. Eddie Hearn is a top promoter. Why? Because he runs his mouth in stupid ways to promote his fighters. He's an awful matchmaker. Yeah, he is. He's an awful matchmaker and says a lot of things that gets his fighters, like trying to match Joshua up with the top heavyweights in the UK. I think it's ludicrous. When you matching your guy against a guy that's been knocked out twice in his last two fights, why would you ever start talking about this same guy can go and fight Tyson Fury, a man that's been in and fought some decent opponents? I don't get it. I don't understand. PSP Sports, he says, if you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, please, PSP Sports. I talk boxing all the time with my opinions, guys. Great. Thank you. That's PSP Sports. Yeah, I'll subscribe to you, mate. No problems. Okay. So, what were people expecting to see from this fight? I don't get it. I don't know why people are so upset. But you know what? What I want to see now is whether any YouTube channels are going to close down because of this. All those Pacquiao fans. See, Pacquiao now said something. He felt he won the fight, and there are going to be people out there that believe Pacquiao won the fight. You know, I don't know. I can't believe he said that. Honestly, cannot. Okay. Concentrate on Ingram. Oh, bless you, Lucy. So who do you think is favourite to get Mayweather next? I think Kell Brook. I really do. I think he's unbeaten. I think he's got a UK market. Mayweather comes to the UK, fights Kell Brook, becomes an undisputed welterweight champion. Why not? And it will be another slap in the face to Khan. I would love for Brook to go and fight Mayweather just out of damn principle. Out of principle. Miguel Cotto. The guy who's at middleweight, who isn't really a middleweight, who wants to fight guys at catchweight. Look, you're the middleweight champion of the world, or you're not middleweight champion of the world. You don't want to take a catchweight fight. What's all that about? Sorry, you're middleweight, you fight as a middleweight. You don't fight as a catchweight to suit yourself. This is why I say Miguel Cotto is not a real middleweight. And when he fights a real middleweight, he'll get found out. That is why you'll see Cotto run as fast as he can from GGG, because there's no way he's going to stand up to GGG. Sorry. Cotto doesn't beat GGG. He's too small. Can he make welterweight again, Cotto? No, I don't want to see Cotto fight Mayweather. For what? For what? I don't see that fight being. What are you aiming to get out of the fight? So Mayweather beats him again. What does it prove? When he beat him the first time, he beat him again. Why doesn't he fight Kell Brook? Kell Brook's unbeaten. I want Mayweather to retire undefeated, but would want Brook to win. Yeah, of course. You know, if you're from the UK, you definitely want to see your countrymen do well. But if you're struggling against Carson Jones and you're eking out a win against Porter, let's see how he does against Frankie Gavin. I want to see how he does against Frankie Gavin. I really do. I don't even want to see Mayweather Pacquiao too. I just pray that fight doesn't get made. No, 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 no. Mayweather isn't going to risk all at 38 in his fight. To be fair to Khan, he's wrong for Mayweather at his age, so can't see that. Brook is beatable for Mayweather though. Okay, let me ask you a question. You say Khan is all wrong for Mayweather. Let me ask you a question. You see how Khan is able to throw all those flashy combinations? And you see how Manny Pacquiao is able to throw those flashy combinations? Do you know what beats speed? Timing and accuracy. And Khan has got flashing hand speed. I wouldn't say Khan is any better than Manny Pacquiao, and he's taller. I don't think he's got a better chin than Manny Pacquiao. And I'll tell you something, Khan's got no inside game and cannot fight backing up. He can't. And if plan A doesn't doesn't work for Amir Khan, if you're expecting him to show blinding hand speed and outpoint, it's not going to happen. Forget it. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because Mayweather's going to use his own thing. Mayweather's going to use his jab. Mayweather's going to be putting the jab up and down all the time, keeping Khan constantly thinking. And when he gets hit with the right hand, he's going to be thinking as well, I don't want to get knocked out this fight. The ambition to beat Floyd Mayweather, is that as much as the money in the bank? I don't think Khan poses the problems that people think. In fact, I think Khan's an easier fight than Pacquiao. Khan hasn't proven to have knockout power at welterweight. So what? Are we going to be concerned about Amir Khan's knockout power? No, I don't think Khan also leaves himself exposed when he's throwing punches. When Mayweather starts landing that straight right hand, and he will do because Khan leaves himself open, you could ask, if you can beat Mayweather, you can't come with just one game plan. In 47 or 48 fights, have you guys learned the lessons? That you need to have a plan B. If plan A is not working, you need to have a plan B. And I don't think there is a plan B when it comes to Khan, because Khan fights the same way all his career. There is no plan B. And I don't even think Khan's stamina is as good as Floyd's. Just being honest. I've seen Khan tire in fights. I don't think that Khan's stamina is as good as Floyd's. I don't think Khan's got as good a boxing IQ as Floyd. You can look fast and you can look good against guys that stand and look at you like this. That's fine. But when you've got a guy who's moving, who's good and can move as quick as you, and has got arms as long as you, and can hit you as fast as you can hit him, that's what we're talking about. If he's doing it against the elite, I'm not talking about Devin Alexander here, the elite fighters. All right? And I don't think Khan can do it against Mayweather. I'm sorry. Khan's height and hand speed is too much a risk for Mayweather's last fight. Height and reach. Height and reach means nothing if you've got the IQ of Floyd Mayweather. Give them the start. Give the man credit. The man is a superb fighter. That's what he is. Khan's a joke. I'm sorry. In comparison, and he's been beat before. He's been knocked out, and he hasn't resolved his issues with Danny Garcia. He hasn't resolved his issues with Prescott. He hasn't resolved his issue with Lamont Bruce. Peterson, I think, could beat Khan again. I think Danny Garcia, if he lands a left hook, it's trouble. But Garcia's, to me, he's on the other end of his career. I'm not sure what's going on with Garcia, like I said before. And Prescott, I'd like to see even in Prescott try and fight, even though I think Prescott got knocked out. I'd like to see Khan avenge those fights. So he's still got Garcia problems. He's still got Prescott problems. He's still got Peterson problems. Those are 3 fights right there. And don't forget, Julio Diaz blocked him as well. These are 4 guys. And not one of those little guys come even close to a Floyd Mayweather. So height and reach? Are you serious? Do you think Showtime made a killing? I know it was a co-promotion, but do you think they got some money back on the huge contract they gave to Floyd? Well, let me ask you this question. Name me another fight in the world today that could bring the sort of money that Floyd's brought in. Yeah, I thought you'd start scratching your head. It's all business for me. He will pick an easy style. How can you say that, Henry? How can you say he'll pick an easy style? Okay, look, he's beaten Manny Pacquiao, Canelo, Guerrero. He's beaten the best of the best. He's beaten the best of the best, Henry. Name me a fighter in this generation that's fought all the fights that Floyd Mayweather has. You name me one, Henry. Name me one fighter. You know, people like you are very hard to please. He's beaten everybody that's put in front of him. Everybody, right? And you're still talking about Amir Khan? Oh, come on, man. He says, I see Mayweather winning, just saying there are easier fights. Now, why do you want to see easier fights? For what? What do you want to see? He's just made the #2 pound for pound fight in the world look like an amateur in there. The #2 pound for pound fighter in the world, Manny Pacquiao. He's made him look like an amateur in there. Where's Khan ranked as pound for pound? Right. So Mayweather's got the #1 boxing IQ. The only other person I think that can match Mayweather in boxing IQ is Andre Ward. He's the only man who I think, if Andre Ward and Floyd Mayweather were in the same weight category, I believe Andre Ward could beat Floyd Mayweather. Do you know why I think Andre Ward could beat Floyd Mayweather? Because he comes with more than one game plan. Styles make fights, though. Look, styles only make fights if one guy and the other guy is technically good enough to beat the other guy. Styles don't make fights if you've got one guy who's technically inept, which is what you saw between Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. Style make fights. That sounds good. It's cliche, but it's not truthful. It's not truthful. It's cliche. It's just a good thing to say. Oh, styles make fights. Floyd goes down in history as a great. Of course he goes down in history as a great. Because I'm asking the question, how many other fighters have we got today, apart from Bernard Hopkins, and look at the age Bernard Hopkins is, how many fighters have we got today in today's boxing who's got a resume like Floyd Mayweather? Name them. Bring me up another name, apart from Manny Pacquiao, who's just got whooped. Who? You see, this is it. You just got to give the man credit and give credit where it's due. That's it. So, you know, I think Mayweather's only going to get his just due after he retires. That's just it. That's how I look at it. Yeah. So what did you guys think, guys and girls, think of the coverage tonight? Lucy, what did you think of the coverage? What did you think of the fight? Was it what you expected? Was it worth staying up for? I'm not a Floyd Mayweather fan, but you're so right. Sorry, Lucy. Okay, it's not about, I'm asking a question. It's not about being a fan of the personality. Now, there is a big confusion between a fan of the personality and a fan of the skills. Okay, and then again, identity crisis here, because Floyd Mayweather, the guy who's trying to sell tickets for you to watch him fight, versus Floyd Mayweather, the person, the day-to-day person, outside the ring, away from the bravado. So people didn't know how to handle Floyd after he said, you know what? I don't have to be shooting my mouth off no more. I've got bumps on seats. I've achieved my target. So he's achieved a goal through selling the way he's selling himself in a manner which a lot of people didn't like. But he's done it. He's had a great marketing ploy. So is it because you don't like him because he is his style? Is it because you don't like him because of his personality? If it's his personality, is that fair? Personally, I wouldn't like Manny Pacquiao at the moment because he's proven to be a sore loser. He seems to have taken the fire seems to have gone out of his belly. And to me, it looked like he didn't make much of an effort. That's my personal opinion. If I was a Manny Pacquiao fan, I'd be very disappointed. Just saying, I'd be really disappointed. Ingram, do you think that you could get Floyd Senior in an interview? Interesting story about that, actually. Very interesting story. After I was promised an interview with Floyd Mayweather Senior. Well, see what happened. It was about last year. I was in the Caribbean. It must have been about January, February time last year. No, yeah. Well, I was in the Caribbean, and I had a call, and I was meant to talk to Floyd Mayweather Senior. And the conversation went along the lines of, if you want to do an interview with me, you have to write your questions in. I will look at your questions. I will answer your questions to you. And I turned around and said, I'm sorry, I don't do interviews like that. I haven't started doing interviews like that. I'm not going to start now, regardless if you're Floyd Mayweather Senior, Jesus Christ, Muhammad, or Buddha. I'm not doing that. And so therefore, the question went, well, if you cannot do it this way, then I'm not prepared to do an interview with you. And that's how the Floyd Mayweather Senior interview story went. But there's a follow-up to that story. Recently, I did an interview with Muhammad Ali's brother, and the contact who I had to get the interview with Muhammad Ali's brother promised me that they would try and get an interview with Floyd Mayweather Senior. I can say this much to you, fight fans. At some point soon, I do have to go stateside. It's inevitable. I've got to go stateside, and there's a lot of people that I'd like to talk to. So let's leave it at that. Mayweather picks Maidana style, thinking out box all day, every day. Can't makes him think more. He's a businessman. He will choose a busier style. Obviously, I want to see the best fights. Henry, he just fought Manny Pacquiao. Any fight now Mayweather takes is going backwards. By the way, I had 60 pound Mayweather by points. Congratulations. I'm a massive fan. He's pound for pound top 5 of all time easily. I'm a fan of skills. Lucy Marshall, definitely worth it, Ingram. I don't understand people saying it wasn't. And Alan Hurst says, who are you a fan of, Lucy? I don't like Floyd Mayweather. He's a prick. Okay, I understand the persona that Floyd has given over, and the domestic violence things, unacceptable, totally unacceptable. And his background and what happened in his lifestyle with his father, that unless you've been in it, you can't really say how that psychologically would affect you. But domestic violence is unacceptable. As simple as that. And boxing is a sport where the beauty of boxing is that anybody can take part in the sport. Unfortunately, with boxing, some of the best fighters in the world have had some questionable checkered past lives. And the thing is, we start to idolize these fighters. They're boxers, and the backgrounds they come from are pretty rough. And anybody who can pull themselves up and can carry themselves with dignity and class, that is an exception to the rule. Believe me, it's an exception to the rule. Even the great Manny Pacquiao, that people tend not to see, was cheating on his wife with groupies and gambling before he supposedly turned his life around. So I think because Mayweather is high profile and doesn't have as much of a PR spin, he's out there. But Manny Pacquiao, who was meant to be God, and Mayweather was meant to be the devil, it is just typical that Floyd would be seen as the bad guy, so you hear more about Floyd. But Manny Pacquiao's no saint. Let me tell you that he's no saint. And if adultery and domestic violence or adultery is still abusive, it's abuse, regardless if it's physical or emotional betrayal, it's still abuse and still unacceptable. So my point is, both men are as bad as one another. Of course, Manny Pacquiao is painted as God, so hey, nobody's going to say that, are they? Colin Palmer, good evening, Colin, or good morning. How are you? For those of you who don't know who Colin Palmer is, he's the former England defender, played for Sheffield Wednesday. I believe you're out at the moment, Colton, somewhere in in Asia, I think, in Thailand. I could be right or wrong. I'm not sure. I've seen you do a lot of tweeting recently. I followed you on Twitter. Especially you haven't followed me back. When are we going to get the interview done, Carlton? What did you think of the fight? Where are we? Lucy Marshall is a big Tyson Fury fan. The big man has a big challenge ahead against Vladimir Klitschko. I'm sure that fight's going to be made. I personally, again, I reiterate this comment. I do believe I would have preferred to seen Klitschko Wilder fight. Those two should have fought, and then Fury should have fought for the undisputed title at Wembley. That's what I think should have happened. It's not going to happen. It looks like Vladimir is going to fight Fury, and I don't think, in my personal opinion, that Fury's had the right preparation for the Vladimir Klitschko fight. I would like to see him fight Amaris Vac or David Price, particularly David Price, because you've got there a guy who can punch with both hands, weak around the chin, similar dimensions to Klitschko, and would give us a good barometer test as to how Fury's going to do against a big punching heavyweight, one who can lay you out with either hand. And Price carries some real power in both hands. Yeah, Peter Fury is a great trainer, but his greatest test is around the corner when he faces against Vladimir Klitschko. That's we're going to see whether he can pull off the master game plan against Klitschko. England, what boxers out there do you want to interview, and have I tried to get fighters I'd like to interview? Well, you know, I'm in Ireland, and so I'd like to interview some Irish fighters. One guy I'd love to interview is Carl Frampton. Carl Frampton's a fighter's fighter. I like Frampton. He's got that devil in him. He's got that real get down and fight dirty. I like him. I like Frampton a lot. Guy I'd like to interview. Of course, fighters I'd like to interview. It's a good one. It's a good question. I'll have to come back about that one. Like I said, he's a prick. Okay. I'll take it. You don't like him, Lucy. That's fine. At least with Khan, we would have an exciting. Oh no, Carlton. Why would the fight be exciting? Did you not see Manny Pacquiao is potentially one of the most exciting fighters in the world? He got shut down. And I would say arguably Pacquiao fought the better fighters to Khan. Pacquiao's ranked number 2 in the world in terms of pound for pound great. Amir Khan doesn't have the tools. I'm sorry, he doesn't have the tools. He doesn't have a game plan B. And exciting? No, it's not an exciting fight. You know, he struggled against Danny Garcia. He struggled against Lamont Peterson. And Lamont Peterson and Danny Garcia combined haven't got the boxing IQ of Floyd Mayweather. It's boxing IQ we're talking here now. And when plan A doesn't work, Khan's in trouble. Do you give Fury a chance against Vlad? Yeah, I'll give him a chance. I gave Bright Jennings a chance as well. So what kind of a chance? Like I say, and I'll keep on saying this, I'll keep on saying this till the cows come home. I'm yet to see Tyson Fury in with a guy a similar height to him that can reach his chin and is a power puncher. We'll see that against Vladimir Klitschko. People saying, well, you know, Fury can reach Vladimir, or Vladimir to reach Fury. We've seen what Vladimir has done against tall guys. Magnus back, Tony Thompson. You know, we've seen him against tall guys. We have seen Fury against tall guys, but not the best tall guys. So Fury will have to box the perfect fight against Vlad. I don't believe you can just run in there and try and take Vlad out. And I don't think Fury will try. I think he will box the instructions. I think Fury's best chance in this fight is to fight going southpaw. I don't know if he can pull it off orthodox. Southpaw, yes, I think he stands a great chance fighting southpaw against Klitschko. But my concern is if you're getting dropped by Steve Cunningham, if Klitschko hits you on that chin with that right hand, you can be boxing well, you can do all the stuff in the world. And I want to see a performance of Fury. He goes out there and like knocks out a big man, like, you know, there's a boom, like goes out there like a David Price. Like, you know, when Lewis went out there and he fought Andrew Gallotta and demolished Gallotta, or he went out there and he beat up Michael Grant, or he went out there and went toe to toe with Shannon Briggs. I want to see Fury do that. I want to see that 6'9" giant go out there and really put a dominant performance on. I want to see him do it against a big guy. Again, you keep telling me about sparring Hughie Fury. Hughie Fury is 20 years old. He's a kid. He's not Vladimir Klitschko. Hughie Fury isn't even developed man strength yet. And Hughie Fury is not a puncher. Hughie Fury has not got the ring IQ of Vladimir Klitschko. Hughie Fury didn't even achieve what Vladimir Klitschko achieved as an amateur. You're talking about a gold medalist in the Olympics. I mean, this is the concern. This is my concern. Is Derek Chisora or Christian Hammer, if you're fighting Bermane Stiverne for the heavyweight championship of the world, yeah, great preparation. A small man. But now you're fighting a guy that's 6'6" and the best 6'6" man in the division and one of the best all-time heavyweights. Potentially. That's the problem. That Fury could be around doing his business and boom, the fight will be over. Because we don't know how good a chin Tyson Fury's got. If we base it on the Pacquiao fight and we base it on the Cunningham fight, we should be very concerned. Because that's a cruiserweight dropping him, not heavyweight. A big, strong, powerful heavyweight that can constantly hit you on the chin. The left jab is like a right hand. How does he deal with that? How does he deal with that? We don't know. We really don't know. He may come out and go out there and take it to Klitschko and destroy Klitschko. And fantastic if he does. But if he doesn't, and he allows Klitschko to establish the jab and use the right hand. And again, you know, you're looking at coordination, footwork. Tyson Fury's footwork is nowhere as good as Vladimir Klitschko. You know, it's okay getting to range, but Klitschko may be able to get himself in and out of range, in and out of punching range. Those are things, technical things now, footwork, those things you need to be working on. And I wouldn't say Tyson's the most coordinated fighters. I think he's a good fighter. I think he's a better inside fighter than Vladimir Klitschko. So he definitely beat Vladimir hands down on the inside. From the outside, don't know. But from the inside, he could. Southpaw, he probably could as well. But like head to head like that, I don't know. Don't know. What we've got here. Colton says, Whack is the slowest heavyweight I've seen. Well, then you haven't seen many heavyweights, Colton. Sorry. Because Yusnov is slower than Vac. And while you're saying that Vac is really slow, I would like to remind you that Vac knocked out Christian Hammer clean on the canvas where Fury could only get him retired on the stool. Just saying. Dave Allen Hurst says, when you interviewed Dave Allen, he said Fury hit harder. Do you believe him? Dave Allen said, well, he sparred with Joshua, he sparred with Fury, and he said that Fury hit really hard. I don't take the punches. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Score check. Pac-Man 227 punches, Mayweather 234 hugs. Right. Could you, Seabass, could you give me the scorecard, please? Thank you. Anyway, back to the point. Moose Monster. Exactly. Ingram, Tyson hasn't even got excited yet, and nor have I. This will be a turn on for sure. Yeah, it will be. If Vladimir and Tyson actually sign to fight, it will be a great fight, I think, because Tyson will pop. He'll fight the fight of his life. But is he prepared? Is he prepared to fight? You know, it's a mystery. Only Peter Fury knows just how good Tyson Fury is. And you can spar all you want. You can look good in training camp, but it's on the night. It is. And Peter Fury knows his boxing very well. And I think that is going to be key going into the fight against Klitschko. But again, it's a different level. Just going back to AJ's stamina argument. I love AJ. AJ took part in the Olympics Super Special, where he competed against the top athletes in a variety of sporting events. Carlton, brother. How do I break it to you? Do you remember Frank Bruno? Frank Bruno took part in lots of competitions as well. He did a lot of things. Taking part in these competitions is not getting your head beaten for 12 rounds. It's different. It's different. And you should know, Carlton, when you have a knockabout in the park and then you playing for England, it's just totally different. So I don't know. Under the big lights, when you get hit on the chin, that's when you know whether you've got it or not. And we don't know that about Anthony Joshua. And it tells you something, that the Olympic champion, go and look at the way Lennox Lewis's career was. They backed and they believed in Lennox Lewis. Lennox's 14th fight, he fought Gary Mason. He was ranked number 4 in the world, Gary Mason. He was 33-0. 33-0, and he was a big puncher. Would they stick Joshua in with the ranked number 4 fighter in the world today? No, they wouldn't. I tell you what, why don't you put Joshua in the ring with Brian Jennings? That's a good next fight. Would you do that? Would you stick him in the ring with Stavern? Would you stick him in the ring with... Well, forget all those guys. Would you stick him in the ring with Dillian White tomorrow? No, you're going to put him in with some guy that got knocked out twice in his last 2 fights. Ranked 107 in the world. If you want. Got to feel sorry for people who paid $100 for this. What, the mismatch? Well, that's what it was. I was amazed to see for such a big and muscular guy, he was able to excel in such endurance events. Yeah, that's great. But that's not what he's, a professional boxer. So, do you think AJ's trainer Sims is good enough? No, Bashir does not. No, don't. Sorry, no, don't rate his trainer. No, just Sims. But when you're training and you're preparing a fighter to fight for the heavyweight championship of the world, if it was me who was a heavyweight, I would want to have somebody who's got the ability to take me there, who's been on, who knows how to get there. What does Sims know about heavyweight boxing? Look, I said that Frank Buglioni should leave Sims before he gets knocked out. It took Frank to get knocked out to understand. And mark my words. You heard it here. Anthony Joshua, if he doesn't make the change now, he will make the change when he gets knocked out. That's it. And you know what? Something else I feel? I'm not so sure how long Anthony Joshua is going to be with Eddie Hearn. That's all I'm saying. I don't know how long he's going to be with Eddie Hearn. I would like to see Anthony Joshua with an experienced trainer. Doesn't have to be Bashir, Eddie Mustafa Mohammed. Somebody trained heavyweights, Tommy Brooks. I think, and again, I think a lot of people are underestimating David Price. I think David Price is still a dangerous man in the heavyweight division. I don't think stamina is a problem. He's in top fitness. But against who? Who has he fought? Who has he fought? Maybe all the guys that Anthony Joshua's fought. How many of them were former world champions? Let me ask you a better question. How many of those guys would stick in the ring with Vladimir Klitschko today and say it's going to be a good fight? Levels. Let's see him do it against somebody of caliber. Note. Somebody unbeaten that wants to take his up. Let's see how he does then. Dillian White causes so many problems. I hope he beats AJ. AJ will batter White. He'll probably fight him after Kevin Johnson. Right. Let's see how he does against Kevin Johnson, who's a guy who takes a good shot and hangs about and will frustrate him. AJ got frustrated by Jason Gavin, and he looked terrible against Jason Gavin. So let's see how he does against Johnson, who, I don't know, he got beat by Manuel Shah. He's been beat by Derek Chisora. Let's see how he does. I think it's a dangerous fight for Joshua. Trust me. I do think it's a dangerous fight for Joshua. I don't think you can start raving about a guy based on the knockouts he had against inferior opposition. Base your, Carlton. When Man United beat Sheffield Wednesday, and I'm using this as an example, when Man United beat Sheffield Wednesday in a football match, people say, well, they're supposed to do that. When Sheffield Wednesday beat Man United, it's an upset. When Man United go along and beat Barcelona, that's a great result, yeah? Because it's two great teams playing against one another, right? Now, it's the best against the best. That's how it should be in boxing. That's how you judge how good a fighter is. Not a guy bullying another guy that can't fight. That's not the way you judge boxing. Because at the end of the day, you're not trained. The guys that Joshua's beaten are meant to prepare him to fight for the heavyweight champion of the world. None of those guys he's been knocking over has been training to be heavyweight champion of the world. Where is Joshua improving? Can you tell me where he's improving? Did you think that he improved against Jason Gavin? Was that an improvement? You don't sound convincing, AJ. No, I'm not convincing AJ. I'm not convinced. Not convinced. Because we haven't seen him go 10 rounds. We haven't seen him get hit in the chin. We haven't seen him have to come back in a tough fight. You have to go for these moments in fights. You have to do it. It doesn't matter who you are. Ali had to do it. Tyson's had to do it. Holyfield's had to do it. Lewis has had to do it. You guys can't go through boxing knocking people over. Mike Tyson had to go through difficult moments in fights. You cannot go through heavyweight boxing or any sort of boxing without getting involved and having, at some point, somebody testing your chin. I'm sorry. And then until that happens, we don't know how good AJ is. We don't know how good Dillian White is. We've got an idea about David Price. You're not David Price, but he was in there against a top line heavyweight. And he was standing at one point toe-to-toe with Tony Thompson. And he dropped Tony Thompson. So you know the Price is a world-class puncher. He dropped Tony Thompson. Bad, right? But he gassed out because he was mentally exhausted, right? So I know a lot of people give Price a lot of flack for that fight. A lot of flack, right? But what I'm saying to you is that at least Price, when he got beat by one of the top guys in the division. He was ranked number 2 in the world, Tony Thompson. So he didn't get beat by a bum. He didn't get beat by some guy who got knocked out twice in the last 2 fights. He got beat by legitimately top heavyweight, right? A top world-ranked heavyweight, Tony Thompson. Joshua hasn't fought anybody yet. I think you're buying too much into the hype, Carlton. Let's just wait and see until he fights somebody decent. Because at the moment, I'm seeing more Frank Bruno here than I'm seeing Lennox Lewis. Frank Bruno, if you look at his corner, they went up to the task. They were making Bruno push weight, heavy weights, and running and making him look into this. Sorry, Joshua's going down. Go back and look at Bruno's career. Go back and watch Bruno's career. Bruno was knocking guys over left, right, and centre. He punched the yard, knocked guys over. But again, if you look at Anthony Joshua's career, who was he really knocked out? Like bam, knocked him out cold. The referees had to come in and stop fights. So even a question mark about his punch power at the highest level, there's going to be a question mark there. Because he's not knocking guys like Tyson. When Tyson hit you, Tyson bang, and lay you out flat. You were on the floor like what he did against Spinks. Knocked him out, bang, out cold. Look at what he did against Larry Holmes. Oh, bam, on the floor. Larry Holmes. Carla Truth Williams. You name them. He was knocking those guys down. Knocking them guys out. World ranked fighters. That's what you know if you're a power puncher. I'm not sure if AJ is going to be. Are you seeing what AJ is doing in the gym and sparring? Yes. Did you know that AJ, according to reports, was knocked out in sparring by David Price? They were sparring. And that was just before the Anthony leg fight. Supposedly, Joshua got knocked out in sparring. That's why you saw the Anthony leg fight. Matt leg fight. Matt leg. That's why that Matt leg fight was put on, because Eddie Hearn needed Joshua to fill a slot. So therefore, that's why you got Matt leg. It was just a pointless fight, and we knew that Joshua would win the fight within 58 or 60 seconds, a minute. That's why that fight was arranged, because realistically, Joshua shouldn't have even been in that ring that night, because they weren't expecting Price to knock Joshua out. He did in sparring, and you see since then kind of slowed things down. So I think you need to be careful with the whole Joshua thing. You need to be careful. It's all right punching people. When they're punching back is a different story. Okay. Mayweather hugged Pacquiao more than my father hugged me in my life. It's called strategy. What did Manny Pacquiao do to stop that? Okay. Price is a world-class puncher, but he's a C-class boxer. You're backing a guy that's knocking out C-class opponents and thinking he's world-class. That's my argument back at you, Carlton. What would Eddie Hearn do if AJ was ever to lose one of these fights along the way? He would go the same way as Price. Yeah, he would. He would. It would be even worse, because they did documentaries about him. Sorry, they're setting him up for a fall. I'm saying it now. I'm not waiting until the fight comes and he gets exposed and people say, oh, now. I'm telling you now, the guy's not prepared, being prepared properly. Not being prepared properly. So, are you picking White over AJ? See what I'm doing. He's fresh, he's young, he's hungry, he can punch. I think it's a 50-55. That's what I think. I would rather be a world-class. I'd rather be a world-class boxer than a world-class puncher. You say that, and you're a footballer. It's easy. It's easy to say that as a footballer. You know, there are plenty that are considered world-class. Beckham was considered world-class. He had one foot. You know, he had a left foot, and that was it. So I don't know. I think I'd just be a world-class boxer, full stop. World-class is a combination of things. May not be the biggest punch in the world. Evander Holyfield I thought was a complete fighter. Wasn't the biggest punch in the world. Yeah, you know, he wasn't the biggest guy in the world. He used very well. But look where Price is now. Where is Price now? He's fighting Ustinov. He's on his way back up, and he's now actually learning the game, Carlton. He's learning how to box now. Carlton, AJ Price is learning how to become a heavyweight champion now. Look at the way the guy's fighting. The opponent is fighting, not blowing everybody out like he was before. He's learning on the job. That's where he is. So you laugh at David Price, but David Price has got beat by a world-class heavyweight. Stick around, Carlton. Stick around. I'm going to educate you about the sport, and I want you to be around when AJ gets beat. I'm not hating here. You can see the shortfalls coming, and these are from guys on the inside. I'm not just talking from the side of my mouth. I'm talking with guys. I speak hours. I mean hours. Not the stuff you see on videos, but the stuff behind the scenes, and talking to trainers, talking to experienced cornermen, right? People who've been in the game 40, 50 years, and listen and ask them what they think of this fight and look what they think of that fighter and why they think this and why they think that. Their eyes and ears watching people spar and train. So I'm not talking from the side of my ear. You've got Fury over AJ. At this point, yes. Yeah, I do. Because AJ's done nothing at this point. AJ's done nothing. Price will always have a dodgy chin and poor stamina. He was always in the amateurs. That's a big contradiction there. Did Joshua get the amateurs as well? There's a couple of times Joshua got stopped the amateurs. Did you know? He got dropped in the amateurs as well. Did you know? It kind of sounds sort of like, yeah. And I would say that Price, and there's a question about Joshua's win at the Olympics anyway. A lot of people, he got some questionable decisions at the Olympics. You know, Price won was it a bronze medal? Price is a fighter. I don't say he's got a dodgy chin. I wouldn't say he's got a dodgy chin. I mean, he took a fair few whacks against Tony Thompson. You say he's got a dodgy chin, but James Edebashir believes fighters, any fighter over 6'6" has got a dodgy chin. So we don't know if Tyson Fury's got a great chin or not. We don't know if Deontay Wilder's got a great chin or not. I don't know. Lucy, what do you think about what I'm saying? You're a Fury fan. What are your thoughts? How do you feel the big man's going to do in this fight against Vladimir Klitschko? And what are your thoughts about AJ? Alan, what are your thoughts? PSB Sports, are you still there? So Carlton, how come you're not following me on Twitter yet? Been looking. I did try and follow you on Twitter. I did tweet you a few times. Did you see my tweets to you? AJ was never knocked out in the amateurs. He was stopped on his feet once. Price was knocked out cold a few times. AJ was never knocked out in the amateurs. Stopped on his feet once. I'm sure that's not true. I'm sure he fought in the World Championships and got stopped in the World Championships. I'm absolutely sure he got stopped in the World Championships. I'm sure he got stopped in the World Championships. And he was gassing as well in the World Championships. I'm sure. So sure. But I'll come back to you about that. I'm a Fury fan above all. I've got him against all. Yeah, so you believe that Fury is the best heavyweight in the world? He could be. He could be. If he beats Vladimir Klitschko and Deontay Wilder, I guess he could be the best heavyweight in the world. No, he didn't. He didn't get stopped in the World Championships. I'm sure he did. But you know what? I'm going to find out if he did. Just to make sure. Because I like to work with truth. Let's get this. Yeah, I was correct. I knew I wasn't talking out the side of my mouth. Carlton, where are you? There you are, mate. Would you eat for yourself? Oops. All right, well, just go to Wikipedia for me, Carlton, and you'll see that I'll even read it to you. Here we go. Became British amateur champion at the GB Amateur Boxing Championships after defeating Amin Issa in June 2011 at the 2011 European Amateur Boxing Championship. He beat Eric Berichin and Kathan Monaco, but was stopped. Repeat, but was stopped. One more time, but was stopped by aggressive Romanian southpaw Mia Nistor after receiving several standing counts. So he was stopped. Stopped. So there's my point there. Stopped. I've done my research, bruv, but you better go back and do your research again and check the Wikipedia. Wikipedia is telling me something different. Wikipedia is telling me he got stopped. No, he didn't. He did get stopped. And the guy who stopped him, in fact, I should get video evidence because I'm sure there's a video there where I've seen Anthony Joshua getting stopped. Let me get it. Then you can argue afterwards. Because you're going to argue with me. I like to talk, when I'm talking, I like to talk facts. But the best way to deal with facts here, I saw the fight with my own eyes. Here we go. Woo! There's a fight. And again, another amateur that got stopped by southpaw. And you want the Tyson fight, do you really? Okay, here we go. He never been knocked out like Price. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Here we go, here we go. There it is, there's a link. Let's see if we can send it. Please send. Please put the links in the video description and refer it to the comments. All right, let's see. I'm going to put it in the section in the description box because it says I can't put the link there. Okay. This is for Mr. Palmer. Right. There we go. Let's get that out of the way. I'm the fat king. Really? That's with a head guard, you're getting stopped. If you're getting stopped by a head guard and getting several counts, he's going to get knocked. Wait, listen. That's beside the point. Your man's been stopped. He got stopped. Stopped. He's never been knocked out cold like Price. I've seen the fight, mate. Okay, listen. The bottom line is we're not in the amateurs anymore. We're in the pro game. Okay. We're in the pro game, Carlton, and like I said before, less at the time. You think Anthony Joshua is going to be world champion? I believe he's going to get stopped, look bad, and then he'll go get a trainer, and then I believe he stands a chance of becoming world champion. But the comes out, he's not going to become world champion. I'm sorry, but you can agree to disagree, and we will continue to have this debate, Mr. Palmer. But logic tells me that by knocking out guys that can't fight doesn't qualify you to knock out guys that can fight. That's what I know. Vlad has been KO'd, yes, but Vlad was also WBO champion before he got KO'd, I believe. Vladimir was a gold medalist, a legitimate gold medalist champion, not given to him because he was in London. Vladimir Klitschko also was trained by, if you remember, got knocked out, then got trained by a Hall of Fame great trainer, Emmanuel Stewart. So that goes back to my point. I think AJ is a lot better than you give him credit for. No, how can you credit a guy knocking out bums? I'm sorry, but you can't. How can you credit a guy knocking out? How can you credit a guy knocking out guys that he's meant to knock out? What do you mean credit? You credit Floyd Mayweather for beating the second best pound for pound fight in the world. That's where you give credit. You just saw a masterclass on against Floyd Mayweather, a masterclass against Manny Pacquiao, the second best pound for pound fight in the world. That is what you call giving credit. Giving AJ credit for beating up people who basically have no business being in a ring with him. That's not giving credit. He's doing what he has to do. So you look forward. I hope AJ proves me wrong. With the current setup, I don't think so. And this is coming from people that are far more experienced than me and you put together. But I'm sorry, I cannot credit. Let him beat Kevin Johnson. Let him beat Tony Thompson. Those are two old men. Let him get past those two guys first. Let's see how he does then. And let's see how he does against a young fighter like Dillian White. Let's see him fight somebody who really wants to put it on him. Let's see how he does then. And then I'll give him credit. But I'm not giving nobody credit just for the sake of giving him credit. Let's go back. Let's see what Lucy's got to say. Let's see what it is. Name your favorite fighters of all the divisions. My favorite fighters of all the divisions. Okay, let's start. I like Carl Frampton. I like this guy. Oh gosh, Liam Walsh. I love Liam Walsh. I think he's so talented, Liam Walsh. Let's see. I like Liam Walsh. I think he's a very talented fighter. This is a British fighter to look at now. Like James DeGale, I think DeGale has a great chance to become world champion. Like Kevin Mitchell, I think Kevin Mitchell's got a lot of talent now, and it's good to see him actually. It's coming together with Kevin Mitchell. He's a guy that I think has every possibility of becoming a world champion now. I can't say I'm a great Kell Brook fan. I appreciate where he's at. I just want to see him fight more top class fighters, like, you know, Garner Stringer beating some top class fighters to really be convinced. Got a good win against Porter, and then he beat Yo-Yo Dan. So let's see how he does against, you know, his next fight against Frankie Gavin. In America, I like Terence Crawford, but I've always liked Terence Crawford. I like Rashidi Ellis. I've said that before. Of course, in the UK, I like Tyson Fury. Keith, Bryant Jennings, Floyd Mayweather, but you can talk about all those fighters. But for me, my favorite fighter of all time is Sugar Ray Robinson, and it's not just about him, the fighter. You talk about a guy who could throw combinations going forward, throw combinations going backwards, throw combinations going to the side, blurring hand speed, dazzling, entertaining. Great chin. He just like, he was just perfect in all areas. Longevity. Sugar Ray Robinson for me was the best, the greatest. Not Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson. Because Ali, he was probably the greatest in terms of the way he was able to stand up to the American government at a time where they wanted to throw him behind bars because of, I think it was Vietnam. And the stuff he had to go through, you know, having to throw his Olympic gold medalist in the river, I believe, in his, you know, standing up for what he believed in. So he was in a very high political time. So Muhammad Ali definitely is up there. I can't say I was the greatest Ali fan. I was a fan of what he stood for. Any man that stands up for himself, stands up for what he believes in, I've got all the credit in the world for. So, yeah, Ali's up there. I loved Holyfield. Fights against Bo, the first fight, loved it in the 10th round. You know, Holyfield comes back from the brink. His fight against Burt Cooper, loved the fight. Bet against Tyson when Holyfield fought him. Believed Tyson would get beat by Holyfield. That was a great performance that night. Wow. I like fighters that bring something to sport. One of the main reasons I like Sugar Ray Robinson, forget about his boxing skills. That's just second to none. But another reason why I like is what he did for his community. When a man goes in the ring, when he goes out the ring and builds, he goes into the community, names the community after himself, and provides work opportunities for all the people in that community who are unemployed, and builds almost builds a village of businesses, industry. That is what you call like brilliant. And that for me, that was the thing that caught my heart about Sugar Ray Robinson, what he did for people. Roy Jones, oh my God, I love Roy Jones. Prince Nassim Hamid, the way the Prince, he still is the greatest entertainer, certainly in the UK, and one of the greatest entertainers the boxing world has ever known, I think. I think the chances are very high against Ward. Oh dear. I think he's got a good chance against Ward, but can DeGale adjust his style against Andre Ward? Can he make the adjustments? We know that DeGale is great on the back foot, but not a very good come forward fighter. I just think that Ward can adapt his style so much that he'll make DeGale come at him. And as DeGale decides to come forward, I think then Ward will counterpunch him. I think that's a distance fight, DeGale Ward. Two technicians there. I give it to Ward points. No one can talk. RJJ is best, much better to watch than Floyd. Yeah, well, see, but that's the reason why Roy Jones knocked out. And that's why Floyd can still keep going today. RJJ depended primarily on speed. If you talk about a one-dimensional fighter, that's Roy Jones Jr. He was one-dimensional, like speed and reflexes. Once the speed and reflexes went, that's in RJJ, because he wasn't fundamentally taught how to box properly. So that unorthodox style of Roy Jones Jr. came unstuck when he started losing his speed and timing, and then you had that consecutive lot of knockouts that he had. So yeah, I loved RJJ, but there's that controversy around RJJ and Mosley. I've got to mention two fighters, and of course Oscar De La Hoya. I loved Oscar De La Hoya. Other fighters, Julian Hawk Jackson. I think he was an awesome fighter. Nigel Benn, Chris Eubank. Love Julian Jackson though. Awesome puncher. Another fighter, welterweight fighter, Simon Brown, brilliant welterweight. Terry Norris, terrible Terry Norris. You know, Mike McCallum. I didn't like watching McCallum that much. James Toney, defensive brilliance. Pernell Whitaker. You know, you're looking at real great there. Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Thomas Hearns for his big right hand, the way he took out Duran. Azuma Nelson. The fight that should have been made was Baron Morgan and Azuma Nelson. I can tell you now, Morgan wanted no part of Azuma Nelson. He was a great fighter. Azuma Nelson, the professor, great fighter. Love the Prince. Not sure Ward will be Michael Nunn. Yep, was a big fan of Michael Nunn. A lot of his fights were on seconds out with Nick Owen. Was ahead on points against James Toney and then let him back in. Ben Eubanks, what got me into boxing? Let me think what got me into boxing. A man by the name of Gary Mason got me into boxing. It was Gary Mason versus Jess Harding. That was my first boxing bout. And I remember Gary Mason at the end of the interview said, you keep stacking up and I'll keep knocking them down and we'll carry on until something else happens. So I was a big Gary Mason fan, huge fan of Gary Mason. I think I cried the night that Lewis beat him. Cried that night. My dad, quite a few times my dad took money off me. He took money off me when Ben got beat by Watson. He took money off me when Ben got beat by Eubank. Oh, painful nights. Michael Watson, yeah. Oh wow, Watson. Dave Parris, the referee. Nobody ever talks about Dave Parris, that referee. When Watson went down in the 11th round, the fight should have stopped there and then. Watson was out on his feet in the 12th round. Watson was completely gone, but yet Dave Parris dragged Watson out and allowed Eubank to unload what will be punches that, you know, I think caused a real damage to Michael Watson. And in my opinion, I think that referee has got a lot to answer for. In my personal opinion, I think that, you know, he allowed Watson to be pulled from the corner and in that 12th round, and it should never have happened. I remember hearing stories that Watson, before the fight, his main point was that he wanted to beat Eubank first, and then win the title. He was so mad about beating Eubank. He wanted to kill Eubank, quite literally. He went, from what the rumors were, he took blood out of his body and froze it and put it back into his body, so he was able to have that work rate that he had for over 12 rounds. He had a phenomenal work rate that night. I don't know how Eubank, but it showed the heart of the man, Chris Eubank, real heart. The only thing with Chris Eubank, I wish he had traveled to America. I wish he took his show to America. I wish he fought some of the top American fighters. Another guy I used to like was Robbie Reed. I did like Robbie Reed. How can I mention Joe Calzaghe? Love Joe Calzaghe. I think he was blinding hand speed, combination, good heart, good chin, good work rate, and a guy who could adapt. That's what made him a very good fighter. Yeah, so there's some fighters there. Have I missed anybody out there? Let's go back to see what Lucy is saying. She's saying, I'm getting some sausage and bacon on my George Foreman. I am taking you with me. Sausage and bacon on Foreman. Right. Spinach too, so good for you. Yes. Well, I'm a big spinach fan. I don't eat meat anymore. I've become a complete vegetarian. So you like your sausage and your bacon. Right. Well, somebody's got to like it. Got to give Froch credit. Yeah, you do. Yeah, Froch. Froch. You know, you gotta love him. He's a man that needs a PR team around him all the time because he doesn't know when to shut up. Carl Froch says some awkward things. And one of the things he did the other day is when he was interviewing Floyd Mayweather, and he said how, you know, he chopped trees. You know, Floyd was chopping trees, and he's chopping trees, and he chopped trees because that helped him knock George Groves out in front of 80,000 fans. And like, Floyd's looking like, what? You know, Froch can't help but talk about himself. Froch has got the best resume in the UK. You think about that one. And I would disagree with you. Lennox Lewis was the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Undisputed, number one, numero uno. There was no, oh, well, there's another guy in the division that who got beat by, and Lennox Lewis retired, beating everybody in his path that was there at the time. Carl Froch never beat Andre Ward, got soundly beaten by Andre Ward. So for me, Lennox Lewis has got a better record than Froch. Also, I'd like to add that Joe Calzaghe beat Kessler with ease in the end. Froch got beat by Kessler. So I've got a slight concern there. You say he's got the best resume in the UK. Active fighter. Yeah, but look at the age of Froch. Froch is 38 now. How many other fighters have we got that age around in the UK still going strong? I think we've got a new generation of fighters, so we'll have to wait and see. But I don't know. Froch, good fighter. Don't think could have beaten Nigel Benn. Don't think could have beaten Chris Eubank. Would like to see how Froch would have done against Henry Wharton. Would like to see how Froch would have done against even Nicky Piper with that left jab. Would like to see how Froch would have done against Robin Reed, a peak Robin Reed. Like to see how Froch would have done against Richie Woodhall. Would like to know how Froch would have done against, those guys. How Froch would have done against those guys, in their prime. How Froch would have done against Steve Collins. How would Froch have done against Iran Barkley? How would Froch have done against Michael Watson? See, I don't know. When you start putting them sort of fighters in the ring with Carl Froch, and you see struggle against Durrell, see him get thoroughly outboxed by Andre Ward, and you think if Andre Ward could get inside so easily against Froch, and Ben loved getting on the inside, Ben would have got inside of Froch and would have worked his body and worked upstairs to the head, the body and head. Ben would have been all over Froch. I think he would have stopped Froch. He would have definitely stopped Froch. I would have gone Ben to stop Froch for sure. So yeah. Hercules on Twitter says they both go down in my book as legendary fighters in their own way. I wish they would have fought 5 years ago. Listen, in closing, Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, had they fought 5 years ago, like I said before, Manny Pacquiao, if he got beaten soundly, like he got beaten tonight, he would only be considered number 2 in the world. He's still number 2, or, and there wouldn't be such a rave about him. He wouldn't have the marketability that he has now, and he wouldn't be the cash cow that he is now. Yeah, David Hay, I like David Hay. I like David. It'd be nice to see him fight again as a heavyweight. He's too small for the super heavies. No, I don't know if he's too small for the super heavies. I think footwork's the problem there with Hay. Hay's style, his feet are too wide apart. And Emmanuel Stewart says, if somebody that sort of style used the left jab on him. And that's why Klitschko was able to use the left jab on Hay, and Hay couldn't get round the left jab because of the way his footwork was. So, it was just a basic left jab. Just put a left jab out. And also, again, they say he's too small. I disagree, because Bryant Jennings, again, 6'3", was able to reach Klitschko, was able to land punch against Klitschko. Inexperienced, possibly, but like I said that Jennings would give Klitschko a tough fight. I backed him to beat Klitschko, but it was a tough fight, a good fight. Jennings proved that he was an elite level fighter, and I look forward to seeing Jennings fight against some of the other heavyweights in the division. Will be good. Okay, has anybody got any more questions? It is now 8:05 in the morning. You guys are probably exhausted. Thank you once again for tuning in. It's been a blast. Mayweather continues to dominate the welterweight division, the pound-for-pound division, and is still unbeaten. 48-0, soundly outpointing Manny Pacquiao in a convincing performance. Hay would beat bye-bye. Right, well, on that note, I'll be saying good night to you all, or good morning to you all. Have a great week. Don't be too depressed if you're a Manny Pacquiao fan. Your man can come back and fight somebody. Just don't fight David Hay. Oh, sorry, you're ducking Mayweather Robinson question. Sorry, I didn't see that. Let me go back and answer that. Mayweather versus Sugar Ray Robinson. Does Floyd defense cause Robinson Sugar Ray? Look, I think Robinson knocks a Floyd Mayweather out for a number of reasons. You've got a guy who's got a two-fisted attack, blowing hand speed, can can distance the time, he can fight on the front foot, can fight on the back foot, can fight side to side, and he's got a plan A and plan B. I don't see Floyd's defense giving Ray any problems whatsoever, simply because I think Ray has got more than a plan A. He's got a plan A, B, C, D, and E. And this is a guy that fought right up to light heavyweight. I think he's going up to, we'll try and challenge for the heavyweight championship of the world. I rate Sugar Ray Robinson very highly. And yeah, sorry. I think you could ask yourself the question, never mind Sugar Ray Robinson, how would Floyd Mayweather done against Sugar Ray Leonard? How would he have done against Roberto Duran? How would he have done against Marvin Hagler? How would he have done against someone like Hagler, you know, who was a bull on the inside? How would he have done that? You know, I don't know. Hagler's a middleweight, but I don't know. I would like to see Floyd go and fight middleweight. That's what Ray Leonard did. He went up to middleweight and he fought Hagler. You know, Hearns went up to middleweight. Yeah, if these guys went and fought middleweight, they're welterweights and moved up to middleweight. Will Floyd fight middleweight? It'd be great to see him fight middleweight, but will he? I don't know. I don't think he will. To close his career off, do you know the fight I'd love to see be made? Floyd Mayweather versus GGG. Yeah, I know, not going to happen, but that closes everything off. He would have done it at welterweight. No, light welterweight, super light middleweight, and middleweight. So Floyd Mayweather versus GGG. Fight won't happen. I would say GGG is too big. Yeah, probably. But that would be a great fight. Technically, would GGG be able to land? And, you know, how would Floyd deal with that? And how would GGG deal with Floyd's movement? I think it'd be a great fight. Thank you all for tuning in. Lucy, thank you for your support. Alan, thank you. Appreciated. I wish I could have debated more about Manny Pacquiao's chances in the fight, but clearly not. Henry Parker, thank you for tuning in. PSV Sports, thank you for tuning in. Tell Music, thanks for tuning in. Ruben Caddick, thanks for tuning in. Thank you all for tuning in. It is now 9 minutes past 8. Signing out from a very overcast island. This is Ingram Jones, TV boxing channel. It's been great talking with you. I'm out here. Take care.